If you want to see me swatch the Carli Bybel ABH collab, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and yes, we're going to swatch this palette, and I'm a little shocked that I'll be swatching this palette, to be quite frank. I did not intend to get it, and so when it came on for a really good discount, kind of a half off, I decided to pick it up, and I think it's still available in a number of ways. I know it's on sale at the time of filming on the ABH site, and I'm not a big Carli Bybel fan. Don't come for me. I just, we all have our preferences. And, but I'm intrigued by this palette, and I think that it might be the softer sister to the Jackie Aina palette, which I am playing with right now. And maybe I can just open up this palette and the Jackie Aina just to show you the differences, similarities and differences. So let's get this box open. Okay, so here is what the palette looks like, very much like the box. And each one of these little spheres, if you look at the palette, you can see yourself in them. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. You have to kind of experience it yourself. It's neat and off-putting at the same time. Anyway, so usual ABH setup, there is a plastic covering the shadows. There is a brush, and there's usually a little ribbon to help you take the brush out. I'm having trouble. Okay, it was a little bit stuck in it. So let's take a look at the brush for a second. And it is, yeah, it's the usual, the typical fluffy end and more dense side of the two-sided Anastasia brush. So I'll put that off to the side because it's probably going to fall if I try to use it as I'm swatching, or keep it in to the palette as I'm swatching it. The mirror has a protector on it that I can peel off. And so let's just fold this over and reveal the shadows, and here they are. Now, the reason I call it the softer sister palette to the Jackie Aina palette, I think is pretty obvious if you've seen the Jackie Aina palette. I'm going to take it out for you just to show you that difference. Okay, so here's the Jackie Aina palette. Now let me see if I can just put them one on top of each other and you can still see. You see how the Jackie Aina palette, deeper, richer colors than the Carli Bybel. When I look at the Carli Bybel, I'm interested in the very soft, shimmery shadows of the top row. And when it comes to the Jackie Aina, I'm more drawn to the deeper, richer mattes. So they're just a very, very different type of palette, both colorful, but in different ways. And I thought that having had the Jackie Aina first, that I felt like the Carli Bybel would be a good complement. I don't think that I would have been interested in this one on its own, but paired up with the Jackie Aina for a very different take on colorful eyeshadows, I thought that it was a good match. Okay, so I've safely put the Jackie Aina back, and let's take a look at this one specifically. It has some pretty soft names. I think that they correspond to things that Carli might say on her channel. Like I said, I don't really follow her or have any sort of appreciation for the videos she does. Just a matter of preference. So they won't mean a whole lot to me, but when I take a look at the shadows, a couple of them did kind of jump out at me. One of them was Mandala, and because I like purples, that should not be a surprise. And then the other one that is surprising to me that I like is this one right here, which is OA. Don't know what that means, but it's interesting. And of course, I love burgundies, so Steve is going to be of interest to me as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, trying to think, 14. I think I'm going to do sets of 3 swatches, and I think that we can get them all done on one arm. I think I'm going to try to get that done. So let's do the top row first, and then we'll go to the bottom row, because I don't think they need to be done in quads in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, let's do the top row and then go to the next row. I will do each swatch twice and only use these 3 fingers because I think they work better than including the pinky. So I'm just going to rub my finger back and forth on the pan, and they're very soft by what I can already see, which is typical for ABH shadows. Going into Mandala too. So Mandala is a little bit tougher than the other two. The other two, well, one's a shimmer, one's a matte. Okay, so let's go right here and see what happens. And I want to make sure that they go tight enough so that we can fit all 14 shadows. Okay, I'm already really liking Bybel. Based on what I've seen of her, that would be a color that she'd be partial to. And Mandala, yep. I knew I would like that one. Okay, so that's the first pass. And here are the fingers. And I'm going, oh, look at that one, right? And I'm going to go in a second time as expected. Bybel is very, very fine. Oh, it's not kicking up or anything, it's just very fine. Okay, so that's the second pass, and let's see. Bully, Bybel, I'm really liking this, almost like a dusty rose. And this one is definitely my favorite, Mandala. Okay, so there we have them, Bully, Bybel, and Mandala. And last look at the fingers before I wipe them off. I'm in love with Mandala. A duochrome like that, I'm a sucker for those. Totally sucker for those. I could see that on the inner to center lid. Oh, beautiful. Okay, now for the next 3. I think this is going to be Jody. So Libra, Jody, and OA. If you are a Bybel fan and you know what these mean, please feel free to let me know in the comments. That would be kind of fun. Okay, these are the punchy ones. So we have Libra, Jody, and OA. And I don't think this is Jode. I'm pretty sure it's Jody, but I could be wrong. Okay, so let's get Libra done. Okay, this one really makes me think of Lituation out of the Jackie Aina palette. Really makes me think of it. Big time. So that might be a duplicate for me. Holy cow, I think this is Jode or Jody. Yeah, smoky eye, anyone? Holy cow. And love this one. Oh my goodness, OA. On Arrival, maybe? Look at this one. I am hoping the camera is capturing the glitter in this one. Wow. That is beautiful. Okay. I'm not going to double swatch those. They just don't need it. I think that would be a complete waste of time. So we're going to just keep moving on. And I don't do that very often. I always double swatch, but those, they just don't need it. They look great. Okay, no, I'm guessing I know how to say this next one. We're going to go Boy. And then we have Bear and Moo. All right then, Boy is a definite matte. And it's picking up nicely. Bear is another matte, very creamy and cream colored. And then we've got Moo that looks like it's pretty serious. Okay, Boy, Bear, and Moo. Boy, Bear. That is very close to my skin tone. And Moo. This one's gritty, but it's very smooth. And the fingers. So we'll go back into those, especially because of the mattes. The Moo color seems to be holding its own. Because I'm double swatching the mattes, I'll double swatch that one too. All right, so we've got Boy. And mattes always look better on the second pass. And then we have Bear. And then Moo. I wonder if that has to do with the cow that jumped over the moon. What's that fable? So that is the fingers there. And we have 5 left, and I think I have room on my arm. So we're going to go into the next 3, which is, they're all mattes. So we have Chai, Cindy, and Stev, I think. Don't know if that's for Steve or Stevia, or you can laugh at me if you know what the reference is. I have no idea. I didn't really feel like watching her palette reveal video, but I'm kind of regretting not doing it. See, to me it's all about the shadows. It's really more about the shadows than anything else. Okay, so let's go into Chai. Cindy, which Cindy I feel is a color that repeats in a number of ABH palettes. And I think Stev as well is not that different, but then again, I have not swatched them yet, so we'll see. So we have again Chai, which goes really well with Moo. And then we have Cindy. And this one's also familiar. It makes me think of one of the colors in the subculture, actually. Roxy, I think it is. And then we have Stev. And that one is like blah. That's nothing. That's a whole lot of nothing. All right, let's go back into these 3. See if I can pick up a little bit more Stev. Second pass. Chai. Cindy. Okay, cool. And come on, Stev, come on. And Stev is getting no love because my camera just gave out during the swatch. Okay, so I'm just going to do one last little go at Stev because, well, for 2 reasons. It's pretty crappy, and you didn't get to see the swatching all that much. I'm going a little bit further down. Okay, well, for Stev, 3's the charm, apparently. But it's still not great. I really, you know, I had hopes for Stev because, or Steve, whatever it's called, because I like burgundies and reds, and that's just, yeah. Anyway, 2 more shadows to go, and I'm realizing how dry my hands are. I put lotion on right before swatching because I'm washing my hands a lot, as I suspect a lot of people are, and my goodness, it's like the Saharan desert. Oh. Okay, we have two left, and I like both of them, and we have Aura and My Angels. My Angels, I wonder, is that for her subscribers? My Angels? Maybe? All right, so we're gonna go Aura first. Is that glitter too? Oh yeah, I think it is. And then we have, wow, that is special. Like these are super crumbly. I wonder if these are glitters. Let's see. So we have Aura. I really dug into the pen. I should not have. There are a couple in the Jackie Aina palette that make me think the same thing, that they're very crumbly. Okay, so we have Aura and My Angels. Very nice colors, I'll say that much. My Angels is pretty. Well, actually, they're both pretty. Let me just pick up whatever I kicked up because there was a lot. Just being more careful on the second go. It's hard to tell. They're very different from pen to pen. Some of them are very, very hard pressed, and some of them you just put your finger in and it just wants to come right out of the pen. So weird. So we have Aura again. And then My Angels. So that is, let's do a close up here. That is all 14 of the Carli Bybel shadows. And one last little look at those fingers. Okay. So what do I think? Now I have a number of ABH palettes at this point. Have a couple of highlighter palettes, and I have the Subculture Modern Renaissance Soft Glam, Jackie Aina, and now the Carli Bybel. I think that's it. And what do I find interesting in this palette? I'm going to say the one that I talked about earlier, which is Mandala. I think that is very interesting. I like these two. I think a really nice smoky eye with these two would look fabulous. I'm interested in this cream color, I won't lie. And I like Aura. The rest of these I think that I have in droves in a bunch of different palettes. So I would say about half. About half of the colors in this palette are of real interest to me, and it's half and half for the top row and the bottom row. And here I thought the top row was really what I was going to be interested in, and unfortunately this guy, I really don't care. Unless it looks really different on the eye, but so far I'm really not impressed. So I will see what these are like, but I'm curious to know what you think of these swatches. Are they what you expected? Do you have the palette? Do you have some that you know for sure don't perform the same way as they do in swatches? I would be really curious to know. Now, based on the swatches, am I happy I got this palette? Yep. I think I would have been pretty annoyed if I paid full price for it. I frankly don't think I would have purchased it full price, just because the colors, other than 4 of them maybe, are a lot lighter than what I would normally go for. So that's what I would have to say. So I mean, I'm curious to try it, and like I said, Cara C was pretty big on, especially if memory serves, especially the top row. And I'm looking forward to seeing if I agree with her and what my thoughts are on this palette. So yeah, I'm happy so far. I'm happy it's in my collection. I'm not mad about it. Yeah, I have to tell you, this one is really calling to me. This one definitely this one. Oh, Aura seems to have a little bit of a duochrome effect. That's cool. And Mandala. Yeah, those are the three that I really want to build a look around. And it's nice. I mean, there are enough mattes, which, I mean, mattes are never the belle of the ball. But there are enough mattes of the reasonable colors for me to play around with those eyeshadows that I am most interested in. So I think you know what I think at this point. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on these swatches in the comments. Please let me know what you think. And if you've been using this palette, if you have favorite combinations, I would love to hear that as well. But with that, I will say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.